am the CEO and founder of Refuse to Lose, a personal empowerment company that I created to do two things. Inspire the world to make adversity their advantage, and then challenge people to enlarge their vision of what's possible. And I've identified the kids you work with as the core audience for my business. Because at the age of 39, I just now gained a full awareness of what all that was. And so I go to schools and do adversity training workshops. I speak to big groups. And it's been a very, very rewarding experience for me in general. But I want to just challenge you first and foremost to put diverse people in front of your student athletes. Include them, let them see themselves in somebody standing in front of them, communicating whatever message it is. I think that's very, very, very important. Obviously, it's a little more common now, 2019, than it was when I was growing up. But I thought about you guys, and like a lot over the last 12 hours. It's like, where should I begin? Where's the connecting point between the people, myself, and the people in the room? And it's right here. So every student athlete starts their journey crossing that bridge to who they are, to who they want to become, and then this is where they get introduced to you, signing day. So this is when I signed. I was a late sign. Judge me if you want to. Okay? I signed late, April 24, 1998, when I signed full scholarship to play basketball at Wake Forest University. Here's my mom. This is like the happiest she's ever been in her life. This is kind of my tribe, my village. This was my best friend, one of my best friends and teammates. And her parents and her little brother. Her parents kind of helped raise me. But this was a moment. Everybody's happy here. I'm going off to one of the best academic schools in the country, which I had no idea. No clue. Most of your student athletes have no idea what the academics are at their universities. Some of them do. I shouldn't say that. But most of them just want to play their sport. I was no different. I knew Wake Forest was good in basketball in the 90s. Men's side, I was a huge fan. I grew up on Tobacco Road. So I know all things ACC. And this was a big moment for me. Because I didn't fit the profile really on paper to get a full scholarship to Wake Forest. One thing I want to challenge you, you see this moment, and then I come into your office and become a part of your world, but you don't know that I was born an orphan. Put up for adoption at birth, lived the first 3 months of my life in an orphanage. Parents gave me away. You don't want anything to do with her. At least that was my interpretation for a long time. My first name was Olivia. Baby Olivia. I didn't have a name. Baby Olivia. My parents from High Point, North Carolina, where I was raised, adopted me. Their intentions were good, I believe. My mother could not have kids of her own, so she wanted to adopt. I believe in her heart she wanted a house full of kids. So she adopted. I had an older brother who was adopted, he's 4 years older than me, and myself. And we're the two she adopted. She chose. That's what they tell you when you're adopted. I was born an orphan. And then my adopted father left. So I never remember him even being in the home. The divorce papers say they got a divorce in 1983. I was 3 years old. But I think they separated long before I had any idea of that. So I was rejected by my birth mother, rejected by my birth father, and now I'm rejected by my adopted father. My mother, single parent, went on to get married 4 more times. She couldn't get it right. Her second husband sexually abused me at the age of 8. The video was kind of choppy, you couldn't really hear, so I don't know if you heard it. But at the age of 8, her second husband sexually abused me. So now I have this before we meet. My mother went on to have over 70 foster kids living in and out of our home. She wanted a house full of kids. She couldn't have them on her own. So she wanted to have that. Her intentions were good. Her impact was not. The execution was very poor. So I kind of got a cut. And what 75, you might have like 75. So what that looks like is on a Friday, a kid that gets dropped off at my house, and that kid may stay 3 weeks. That kid may stay 3 years. I have no idea. I have no control. I just see these people coming in and out of my world. So I got a revolving door of people that I build relationships with, and guess what they do? They leave. A lot of dysfunction when we bring kids into one place who are hurt because their parents don't want them or can't take care of them. So there's a lot of sadness in my home, but sadness after a while turns into anger. Anger. Anger is a secondary emotion. You see anger, but you got to pull back the layers and find where the sadness is. So we had a lot of sad kids with some anger in my home. It's a very dysfunctional space. The sexual abuse, because almost all of those kids are sexually abused. In my home, we had 14-year-old girls getting pregnant by 17-year-old boys. Because my mom had to work 3 jobs for us to keep the house that her and my father got in order to take care and pay bills. She wasn't home. So a lot of these kids are just doing whatever they want. 3 girls got pregnant in my home growing up. One of them lost the baby, died of SIDS. I watched the baby turn blue right in the bedroom in my home. A very, very dysfunctional place. My mother was a tough, hard woman. Mean, nasty. I don't cross her. So there was no love leadership there. There was fear-based leadership. She was a little bit like a bully sometimes. So I didn't have love in the home. But I had basketball. And if I needed some love, that basketball was going to give it to me. If I needed attention, the basketball was going to give it to me. If I needed to know who I was and be validated and feel important and get cheers from everybody and pats on the back, I found my thing, found it. Foster home turned more like a group home. Really. For about 8 years of my life growing up, it was more like a group home. Just lots of people in and out. My senior year, I witnessed the murder of a friend, a high school classmate. Stood about 25 yards from a stray bullet that took the life of my friend Jacob Walker, right above the left eye. It was a Friday night after a football game, a group of kids hanging out in a McDonald's parking lot. Very common practice for us. Fight broke out across the street, heard some gunshots. Before we know it, wow. I promise you, it took, for me to even acknowledge that happened. That was buried so deep. I just started awareness of that 4 years ago. I saw the sheet over Jacob Walker's like that. So you don't know how to process these things. You don't have the tools. Montre Bullock, one of my best friends, committed suicide 6 days before I signed my national letter of intent. I was actually supposed to sign 4 days earlier, but I locked myself in a room for 3 days because my best friend had put a bullet to his head, gun to his head, pulled the trigger. And now I come to you. Now I come to you and you want me to be on time for study hall. You got to go here. You got to be there. What about your academic advisor? Do you know what you want to major in? Did you get your classes? Use your meal plan, your parking ticket, your parking pass? You want me to come. You're ready for me. Are you ready for this? You're ready for this one. But you didn't know. You didn't know. And I don't know what you know about what you. Is anybody from Wake Forest here? Yeah?
Went to school there.
What's that?
Went to school there. I worked there.
Oh, we went to school? But, so he knows. At Wake Forest, there's not a lot of people that look like me. I don't fit the profile. When I was in school, there were only 3% of the people there that were black, like me. Now that number of diversity is skewed skewed to like 7% when you added other, international students and things like that. But I didn't see a lot of people that looked like me. When I got dropped off the first day of school, I had a friend drop me off. Wake Forest was only 30 minutes from High Point, so it was like right down the road. I got dropped off, took my stuff up in a trash bag, 2 bags. And then I came in with a class of 6 freshmen. And I saw them and their parents and their grandparents and their siblings hop out of minivans with excitement, with totes and flatbeds and dollies and just happy. Then they had stuff labeled like this is your bedding and this is your toiletries and here are a few bowls. I got dropped off, trash bag, put it on the bed, and went to the gym. Because all of that freaked me out. Like, what is this whole family stuff? What are y'all doing? So this is the first time I realized what families do. I actually have a word for it. They were being parented. Oh, that's called parenting. When you drop your kids off to school. That's nice. All I knew at the time, this feels different. I feel like I might not fit in here. But guess what I had? Still shoot, y'all. I can still shoot and dribble. But see what happens with every kid that you deal with has adversity in their sport. They're not winning. They're not as good as they thought yet. Sometimes they just want it now. They get injured. They mess up, try to get kicked off the team, whatever it might be. That one thing they all only had, now you're jeopardizing that. And now it pulls back the layers on all this other stuff. This is what happened in my college experience. People will look at my resume or look at something on paper and assume so much. Let me tell you the real truth. I was at Wake Forest University barely surviving. Barely surviving. We have so many more resources today than we had 20 years ago, and we still have kids barely surviving because they can't see themselves in the people they're engaging with every day. This is part of the mission and the message that I'm on with my company. I wrote a book called Refuse to Lose, 7 Steps to Make Adversity Your Advantage, and I talk about my experiences at Wake Forest. I talk about being suicidal, because my friend Montre did it. So he did it. Like, that's the answer. I talk about anxiety attacks. I didn't have a word for anxiety attack. I could not explain what I was feeling. My coach suspended me for an anxiety attack. Sent me to a psychiatrist who was a 65-year-old white man. He never asked about anything that went on in my home. And neither did she. This is a quote from the book. I think it's valuable, or else I wouldn't put so many words up here. Wake Forest was challenging for me on every front. For the first time, I was introduced to the world of rich white elite. On my freshman dorm floor, one girl's family owned an island. Another had a black BMW for the winter, a white BMW for the summer. It was a world where young people had no worries outside of which car to drive or where to go for spring break. Most of the other students had lived completely different lives than I had. Wake Forest University didn't have to make adjustments for me. But if I was going to survive, I had to make adjustments for it. This has nothing to do with me making a basket. I haven't even went to practice yet. I have not been to practice yet. I haven't really been to class. Survive is what I did, barely. I snuck away with my degree. I got it. 2.00000. I was one of those. All of it was tough. All of it was hard. And I'm better for it. There's no question about it. But I sure would have liked to have some people in my space who could identify with me, to make me just a little more comfortable. so I don't want to kill myself. That's what you do. I created 7 steps to make adversity your advantage. Now this is something for every single person in this room. It's not just about your student athletes. It's a simple strategies that we can implement in our lives today, because every single person in here is never going to escape adversity. It's just a contrast. And that adversity may look like you didn't get that job interview you wanted. That adversity may be miscarriage, a divorce. That adversity can look a lot of different ways as we continue to evolve and grow as people. But for your athletes, I think it's important for us maybe to share with them some strategies, some systems. And I don't think you can have rules, systems, processes without relationships. So I would challenge you to do that. I would challenge you, like, at least to know, like, maybe one of these things about your student athlete. Like, just single parent home, dad's in jail, mom's bipolar. If you're working with them and you pretend to care, because relationships will allow you to push and challenge them in ways non-relationships won't. You'll be able to empower them. So rule number 1 to making adversity your advantage: acknowledge what it is. Acknowledge it. You're not good enough to play right now. Acknowledge it. You were adopted, Adell. Acknowledge it. You witnessed a murder. Acknowledge your home was so up. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. Own it. There's an ownership to that. My friend died, Montre. I talk about my friends and their names so I can keep their memories alive. It helps with my personal therapy. Montre, when he passed away, I didn't go to the funeral, didn't handle this thing at all. I sat and I remember thinking to myself on my bed, you know what I'll do? I'll just pretend we both went off to college and we won't see each other again. And that just made perfect sense to me. I was like, yeah, healed. Not acknowledging at all. At all. It's a challenging thing, but it's the first thing we got to do. If there is an issue, red flag. I like empowering questions. It gets you to think about things a little differently. A mentor of mine said, Adell, when you start asking life better questions, life will give you better answers. Stop asking why your daddy wasn't there. Start asking another question. How about all these other people that came in? Wow, what was that supposed to even teach me? What was his absence supposed to teach me about myself? What was my home supposed to teach me? That I can connect with any person walking this earth, because I've seen them come through my home. I've seen them. But I also had to go outside my home to develop different relationships. And I was on that Wake Forest campus with those elite white kids for a reason. Because they're not a person walking this earth that I can't look in the eye and have a real conversation with. Maybe that's what it's for. Okay, I get it. What is it here to teach me? Any adversity, what am I supposed to learn? Ask your student, what are you supposed to learn right now? Because we better get about the business of learning it instead of asking the wrong question. I think identity is crucial. We all have one. Our players, student athletes, I should call them players, student athletes, you have an identity. In theater, there's a thing called the drama triangle. So in a good movie, there's always a victim, there's always a villain, there's always a hero. And it's really good when the victim or the villain actually turns into the hero in the end. It's like, it's like when they hit the music and you start working out or something, and like that's the part. And that's where we want our student athletes. If they are a victim right now, if they're a villain, your mind, what do we got to do to become the hero? What needs to happen for us to become a hero? What about the rock community? Just play it in your head with, well, I don't know who your student athlete you're probably thinking of right now. Play it in your head with little Adell Harris. She is a victim right now. I don't know why she's behaving in this way. There are probably layers to this stuff that I don't know about. I'm not in the know. It's not about me. It's probably more about her. Let me remove me and try to see if I can help her become the hero of her story. You'll always be operating in one of these three areas. In different areas of your life, be the hero as an athlete and a victim as a student. Vice versa. We want heroes. In order to be a hero, you got to take ownership of your story. This is my story. If I'm the victim, that makes it about you. It makes it about that professor. It makes it about somebody else. I'd like to challenge our student athletes, and I look them in the eye like, you need to own your own outcome. Like, you need to own it. This is your story. We're just here for a short period of time, and once our time is over, you move on. Now, who are you? Step two, after I acknowledge it, I have to accept it. And accepting, the dictionary defines accepted as embrace, to fully embrace with no resistance. To fully embrace with no resistance. I don't think this sounds like a very simple concept. Raise your hand if you have any student athletes you work with any who don't fully embrace all of who they are. You work with any of them? You know any of them? I think that's attached to, and this was the problem I had. Like I look in the mirror. None of this I'm telling you ain't for me. Period. I wasn't accepting anything of my life when I got to college. First of all, I didn't even have an awareness of all the things that were even there. So there's no way I could have loved it. And I think this self-love, this conversation needs to be had more. Self-love, self-worth, this is why people want to kill themselves, because they don't feel worthy. This is why people are the victim and the villain. They want somebody to come save them. They don't feel worthy. Sometimes they get into these places and I'm like, wow, I'm here. And they don't feel good enough. It's mandatory. We're really only, I just accepted a position as chief of staff at Vanderbilt University for the men's basketball program. And so now I'm back on our college campus. And I heard summer school started on Monday. So I've been there a full week with guys on campus, summer school. I sat in all the orientations and all the conversations, and I'm hearing conversations about consent. Like this sexual misconduct thing is really, really, woo. And I'm hearing consent. But you don't have consent. And this is, and I bet you, because we keep saying it, right, we'll see some changes or people will understand.